Manchester United 1, Wolves 0. Right, I'm going to give you some stats here. Some facts, should I say. Clean sheet.
Yes.
Right?
Sir.
Well, not an assist for Bruno Fernandes, but sort of nearly an assist for Bruno Fernandes.
Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, we're scoring goals from crosses with headed finishes, something United very rarely do.
Yeah. Lovely.
You know, Onana, I know the first one was a clean sheet, but also clean sheet for Onana.
Yeah.
What a performance from Manchester United.
Varane, how often do we have our centre-back scoring goals?
Do you know what I mean? Varane even chips in with... You know it's good when even your centre-backs are chipping in with goals.
Yeah.
See? That was... What am I missing here? That was... No, in all honesty, that is one of the worst performances I've ever seen from Man United. And somehow we've won. Right. Scotty...
That is the positive though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, last season we were dropping points left, right and centre post Carabao Cup final with them sort of performances. So if we're looking for the positives, it's that we've managed to polish what was a big piece of shit and make it shiner. That was terrible. It was woeful football. And I don't want to be a pessimist. It's a long season ahead of us. But Wolves were robbed today. And if you look at that penalty decision towards the end of the game, you know, a point at the least would have been favourable towards them.
My gosh, mate. It's just, obviously, it feels like we've still got the rust of pre-season in us. Too many of our boys that we relied on last year were just not at the races, nowhere near at races. And we nearly paid for it. If Wolves had anything about them, they're winning this game 3 or 4. It was that bad from us. Casemiro nowhere near it. No. It was just Martinez uncharacteristically missing easily slide tackles.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka did the same. Casemiro so many times though. It's not like once or twice. It's like every pass was not the best.
Yeah.
And we just didn't have much today. No. And we got the 3 points.
Yeah.
That's the good side.
But just looking, and I do want to look at some positives because I think when you win a game, you can't just slag off the performance.
Oh,
but
no,
we can't not talk about how bad that was. If we go through the team, other than that moment of madness, I thought Onana looked good.
Yeah.
For some reason, he came out, got nothing of the ball. Not punched in the face, but sort of arms and body into the face.
At him,
that's a pen.
To me, that was a penalty. I'm really surprised they didn't give that because he didn't get the ball. Yeah. He didn't get near the ball. I think the person that actually headed the ball wasn't even the one he took out. Like, it was off the ball. It was late. There was impact there. There was collision. If that's any other player on any other part of the pitch, other than a goalkeeper with their hands for whatever reason, that's clearly a foul. And to me, that still was. I think we're really lucky there. Other than that, weirdly, I thought he looked very good. He had some good on the ball again, playing out from the back well, a couple of decent saves. But then we go through the back line. Wan-Bissaka, I thought, was actually all right going forward, but a couple of, like you said, mistimed tackles, which isn't him. Varane looked good. I thought he was probably our best player. The only one that actually, you look at the performance as a whole and say he was actually pretty good today. Martinez was so bad that he came off after 45 minutes because he got booked, looked like he might get sent off, was getting ran past all the time because, really poor from him. Luke Shaw did absolutely nothing all game, I thought. Again, you know, he was being ran past.
A lot of the play was coming down Luke Shaw's side as
well.
Yeah,
all of their attacks almost were coming down his side, and it didn't do anything going forward. Casemiro looked like he was injured almost. He was that slow and that off it. Mount barely got into the game. Bruno was hit and miss. Luckily, there was enough of a hit. That pass into Wan-Bissaka was phenomenal for the goal, but wasn't, not his worst game, but not great. Garnacho, very wasteful. I thought Sancho looked quite good actually when he came on. Rashford, completely anonymous. Anthony, decent in spurts, but no real quality there. Just so many players today. I mean, you obviously disagree with any of what I just said there, but so many of those players just didn't live up to the standard we were hoping for, did they? They looked slow. It's just weird, wasn't it? What happened there?
Well, I mean, we spoke before the game that everything was sort of teed up. Wolves obviously lost their manager recently, lost a lot of their players. You'd expect it to be a team in disarray that were coming to Old Trafford, and I think a lot of the fans, I know I certainly was with my 3-0, 4-0 predictions, there was going to be a walk in the park, and Wolves were a very, very good team today.
United did walk for a lot of it. That was one of the issues.
Yeah, certainly. And no, I agree with most of your points there, to be honest, Joe. I thought Wan-Bissaka had a decent game, though. There was a couple of mistimed tackles. Obviously, he set up the goal with a good pass.
Really well done for that.
I don't think Shaw and Garnacho worked quite well. I think we've started with the communication between them two was the reason why we were getting hit on the counter attack down that side. But yeah, there was just far too many of them that weren't there. And I'm just getting slightly concerned now with the lack of passages of play or sort of directions. If it's not coming through Bruno, then it's not coming at all, and that's got to be a concern now. We haven't got if Rashford isn't scoring, we're not scoring goals.
Yeah.
And if the creativity isn't coming through Bruno, we're not creating any chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the problem last year. There isn't any sort of collective responsibility on other people's shoulders. Bruno Fernandes was our biggest assist. Rashford was our biggest goal scorer, and it was great that Varane got in, but I mean that was a red herring that nobody expected to get.
I don't know why he was there. We're looking at the build-up of it now, and Varane is by far the furthest player forward. I don't quite understand why he was there. I'm glad he was, but we can't rely on that to win us games. No. Like just looking at some of the stats, United 15 shots, Wolves 23. United shots on target 3, Wolves 6. Weirdly, big chances for United 2. Wolves 1. What was United's other big chance? So obviously the goal. I'm struggling to think what the other one would have been.
I can't remember at
all.
all.
Big chances.
I don't remember. Maybe Rashford on big chance.
There was Anthony's little lob, but that was a half chance at best.
It must have been where Rashford got played in, but he was quite. I don't. But that's according to this. Just all of the stats are not good at all. If you look at some of the top players, Casemiro with the most passes of the game, 53, but. That's obviously, good that he's got the most passes. But 53 isn't a sign that your team has controlled the game. No. You look at City and other teams who control possession, their top passer most weeks will have 80, 90, 100 passes, not 50. Yeah. That's a team that is wildly playing the ball around. There's an issue when the most shots from anyone for United was Varane. He had the most shots. Rashford had the most shots. Varane had the most shots on target.
Wow.
It's just ridiculous.
Is that the one?
Yeah, one. It is one. No one got more than that. Statistically, it's just poor. And Bruno Fernandes led the way with tackles as well. Casemiro only getting 2 of his 6 tackles. It's just it just isn't very good. Casemiro did decent in terms of blocks and stuff, but statistically, it just sort of shows. And look at clearances as well. The three of the top 4 clearance makers were United players because we're the ones having to clear the ball out. Yeah. Why is Luke Shaw, Varane, and Casemiro got more clearances than pretty much any Wolves player? Because we're shitting it and we're having to swing the ball out. It was an absolutely bizarre game, and as I mentioned it before the game, the message my dad sent me before the match saying Wolves are such underdogs they might spring a surprise.
Yeah.
And we sort of not laughed it off, but kind of went, nah, not today. Yeah. But it was right. It was like they were so down here, we were so up here.
It's again another 1-0.
1-0.
What do we take from this? How do we stop this happening, or how do we move away from performances like this? Because we can't, if we want to win anything, or even just move towards winning things, we can't see that more than 2 or 3 times this season. Otherwise, there's no chance.
There is absolutely no chance we play like this. We've got to think. You know what? This is football where any team in the league beats you if you play this again like this. So we're just lucky we got the 3 points today and that we're still up with the chasing pack that wants to go and win the league. And hopefully we can... This is just the rust of pre-season and we get back to playing proper football. Because this happened last season, but we lost against Brighton. Yeah. Then we played again and we lost against Brentford. Then we played football. And we actually thought we was going to get a tonking against Liverpool. Yeah. And we thought we was nowhere near it. And then all of a sudden, we're on it and we're playing proper football. One thing that's for sure, Shaw needs to have Molasse behind him. Yeah. Because when Molasse is behind him, he ups his game. Now at the minute, he doesn't have anyone behind him. He knows he's going to play. And maybe that's, again, that's what it's been in the past. So I'm going to put it down to the same thing. He's not really on it at the level you want him to be. I bet if Molasse was behind him, he'd be on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but look at this.
They were just walking through our centre midfield, and there's going to be question marks asked about Mason Mount. Obviously, the big money signing during the summer. I wasn't too convinced that midfield of Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount was anything special. You'd hoped with him coming in to sort of replace the lack of energy that Eriksen's shown towards last end of the season. Eriksen was actually pretty decent when he came on, as was Sancho, to be honest. But Mount was non-existent. But I mean, the positives are obviously we got the 3 points, clean sheet, and there's such room for improvement. I was concerned though after the first half was so bad, you sort of expect United to come back out with a bit of a bit of a kick up the backside. They got worse as the game got on. How is that even possible?
Well, it went from being poor to being shit scared and poor, didn't it? Like the last 15 minutes especially was just like last season. I've been saying this all pre-season, hoping that the inclusion of Onana, and I'm not saying that this won't happen, but it certainly didn't happen today, would allow United, even in these nervy moments, to go, right, there's a reset button back there.
Yeah.
If we're shitting it, I'll go back and he won't lose it, so we can rebuild. They'll have to change the shape, we can go again. It didn't work out like that. We've not got used to playing like that. And just on Mount, looking at the stats here, so obviously we've got shots, passes, chances created, attacking third passes, like all the different categories and who's done what. So if we look at shots, Mason Mount, I don't think had a shot, right? So if we look at passes, Mount he had less passes than Anthony, less passes than Garnacho. The only people for United who weren't subs who had less passes than Mount was Rashford.
Wow.
So
that says
a midfielder. You look at chances created, Mason Mount 0. You look at attacking third passes, and all these players made more attacking third passes than Mount. Casemiro, Fernandes, Shaw, Anthony, Garnacho, Wan-Bissaka, even Rashford made more. And the shocking one for me, even Lisandro Martinez, who's a centre-back, who came off at half-time, made the same amount of attacking third passes as Mason Mount. I think Mason Mount's a very good player. I think he will improve United. But he did not get in the game at all today.
I can't work out where he plays.
And we've seen pictures on Sky here where they're drawing boxes around the midfield, and it's just Casemiro by himself with 3 Wolves players, which he looked poor.
Not enough,
But
if
you've not got that cover...
Yeah.
But then also at the other end of the pitch, Mount was non-existent there as well. So I think it was a poor game from him, and I think he's a lot better than that, and there's a lot more to come. Yeah. But when he's literally just not turning up in any of the stat, like he's not there on the tackling, he's not there on the ball recoveries, he's not there on tackles, take-ons or crosses or passes or chances. He's nowhere. He just didn't. He sort of didn't exist today, and that's in a way obviously negative. But if you want to spin it as a positive, we won the game. And we've seen probably the worst of Mason Mount today, and probably the worst of
everyone.
Martinez.
I feel like we've seen the worst of everyone.
And Rashford and Garnacho and winning games where you play badly. It's shit that you play badly, but it's so much better than losing games when you play badly. Yeah. That's one bit of positive.
Oh yeah, of course, definitely. If we'd have lost this game on the back of that performance. And then gone into the Spurs game on next Saturday, that would have been a terrible way to start the season. But all the best champions in the world, win ugly. That's what Manchester United done today. Maybe champions elect.
Champions.
Pre-Ten Hag reared its head again today.
Yeah.
That was one of them games where you say, guys, this isn't the new us. This is the old us coming out today somehow. We've got a win still, but listen, I don't want to see that football ever again. You guys were hesitant in your movement after passing the ball off. You don't know where you're going. You look like you didn't have a clue how to play football. Yeah. That's what we look like today.
Yeah.
It's all disjointed. Everything's disjointed today. Guy's making a run, you play it behind him. He's standing there going, oh, shall I make a run? Okay, yeah, I'll make a... but now I've got it. What do I do? It's just what do you do football? It's not good enough.
But you said
and
there...
they did.
Yeah, I mean, you said there pre-Ten Hag football. But if that was the football we were playing since we won the Carabao Cup, at what point is it Ten Hag football? At what point do you start asking?
You know what it is? We've seen some Ten Hag football. That Tottenham football, when we played Tottenham. I know it's just the one game.
Yeah.
But then we played Barcelona, we played good football.
Yeah.
We played some ball where we actually was moving.
Against
and
Arsenal at home as well.
Arsenal,
yeah, they're 3 games.
Doing some good stuff. We need to get back to when a player gets on the ball, everyone knows where they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be doing. I could see it with Wolves.
Yeah.
I've seen it with United after Ten Hag got a hold of us. But then there was the odd few games where we just reverted back to that crap football. And today was one of them.
Yeah.
No one played football.
Yeah, I get that. But do you not think that you're cherry-picking great performances? Shouldn't you really be looking at the average?
But if you look at the season as a whole, we finished third.
Not the
sixth.
Not the position. Talk about the football.
But I think we got more clean sheets than anyone.
Yeah.
Which is
So that's defensively we did well.
Yeah, but that's the football, isn't it?
That's
football is on and off the ball.
Okay, so yeah, but I mean,
defensively we conceded too many goals because we hit for 7, hit for 5.
Yeah.
But overall we had more clean sheets than anyone. We finished 3rd, which was a big improvement on the season before. We won a trophy. We got to the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
We went quite well in the Europa. It's not great, but we aren't a great team.
No, I get that.
We're trying to move towards being a great team.
No, I get that.
But I know what you mean about, certainly post-Carabao. Okay. We had a brilliant run after the World Cup. We won the Carabao Cup, and then after that, it all sort of stumbled and started to look like this was the norm. But I think we have to look at the fact that it's the first game of the season, and if this carries on for 10 games, obviously then it's like, okay, why is this not getting any better? But it isn't so far. And it is just the first game of the season. And I think we did see some things in pre-season that were really encouraging. And I don't think Ten Hag's going out there and telling them, shit yourself, sit back, miss your tackles, don't run.
Yeah, no, I agree
so
with you.
it's hard, isn't it?
It's just when you're saying like pre-Ten Hag, but I've seen that performances enough under Ten Hag to sort of warrant it as being part of his football, especially the passage of play. We've tied it up at the back, evidently with the signings of Martinez. Yeah. I'm talking about the football going forward, scoring goals and attacking.
Yeah, you're right. To be honest, you're quite right. Because when I look at it, I go, I'm going to name like a few teams. City, better football. Arsenal, better football. You'll go to Brighton, better football. Like, they'll keep the ball and be better on the ball than us. We might beat them, but they're going to be possession-based more than us. Newcastle, probably even slightly better than us in terms of the way they play. We stifled them and we got a goal and we won the game. But a lot of these teams are playing better football. Liverpool, we beat them up. I think at home we played better than them. But at their ground, they just destroyed us. Chelsea now, they're probably going to keep the ball a bit more than us. So we're in and around there now in terms of being able to keep the ball and actually play better and beat them.
Yeah.
That's where we are in terms of the type of football to the eye. But in terms of winning games, we could beat any of those just because that's the way we are. But in terms of, we're just not there yet.
Yeah.
We're just not got them players who have got that ability to keep the ball under that kind of pressure, pop it through everyone, 2 banks of 4 against us, and you go pop, 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 don't care. Here's a chance.
Yeah, but and we spoke about this all through the watch along, but I don't understand why Brighton, Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool can do that. Yeah. I just don't get it. There's stuff that Wolves players were doing that like running, you know, that should be.
Some of it is just we're this is a bad performance, because I know that there were too many poor performances last season, but there were plenty where you could look at and go, we played well there. That was a good game. We played well there. Yeah. Like, we did run in behind. We did run off the ball. We did track our men. Yeah. Like, some of it is types of player, like you were mentioning during the watch along. Like, we don't really have wingers that can put a whipping cross on a striker's head. Yeah. We don't really have players like that. Yeah. Rashford's never really done it. Garnacho's not shown that he can do it. Even Sancho, he likes a 1-2 in the box, but he's not a David Beckham or even a sort of Saka or a Kevin De Bruyne where he'll get the ball and he's just putting it straight across. We don't have anyone that does that, really. But we can still create chances and score goals. But then there is an issue where we said at the start of the game, we scored 58 goals in the league last season. Newcastle scored more than that. Arsenal scored 30 more than that. City scored 36 more than that. Brentford scored that many. We do genuinely have a problem creating chances and scoring them. So
that's our issue.
We aren't ready to play 70% possession football and win the league. Yeah. But hopefully you don't have to, because not everyone. We see it in the last few years. That's what you do. So that's what City does. Yeah. But we didn't always do that.
No,
you know, that's not always been the way. But it is horrible to watch when Wolves are making more chances than us. Today was just a shit game, wasn't it? Right. This isn't like.
Let me just give you something. If we were to get De Jong, we would have had a bit more about us in terms of keeping that ball and then sliding through to the next. You know, not ever really being that team that could get outdone in terms of keeping the ball. He's a player, he's a catalyst to exactly what Ten Hag wants. He got Casemiro. Last year he was doing it. This game right now he hasn't done it. Yeah. But what were we seeing? We were seeing the ball coming back to him and him whipping balls around the back last year. Yeah. It's like, finally we got a player in the side that can whip a ball around the back and it's dangerous. Someone's going to get their head on it. He's not done that today. Yeah. So if he's not doing it, there's no one else. Yeah. Because he was the only, and then getting on the end of a cross. It's him. getting on the end of a cross as
He's
well.
the only one
Yeah,
scoring
yeah,
headers,
So if he's not playing well, that's a lot of what the extra stuff that we had to the Man United is not there.
I mean, and that goes back to the point, like the performances fell off after the Carabao Cup final, as did
as his
Casemiro.
10 games not there, not playing.
Yeah, and then never came back the same player. I'm not being as cynical. I'm just hoping for the best, and I'm going to be bitterly disappointed if we don't.
We've got a few super chats. Witterbird says Varane header, and then some love heart eye emojis. Very good. Sam Z says too early, but a few games like this, and we won't finish top 4. We are getting carried away, I think, aren't we? We just need to everyone take a breath. When we beat Tottenham 6-1...
We've only got Spurs on Saturday. Anyway. Only Spurs.
Newcastle, Arsenal, Scousers is better than us so far. So far, yeah. But, Wolves have been better than us so far. And where are they? Fucking
relegation.
Below us in the league. Abhinav Verma, pretty sure Ten Hag will tear into the players. We looked unfit. That's a good point. We were all one step back apart from Sancho, Mount and Onana and Varane. I'm not sure about Mount. I thought he was poor. But we did look unfit. And that is something that isn't tactics based. You see Neil Warnock go into a team and make them run and make them, like we're talking about set pieces, like Neil Warnock can make a team score 15 goals from a set piece this season. He's not the best manager in the world. He's not implementing the most detailed, go home and revise tactics in the world.
Hardly Einstein,
but he can fucking run.
Yeah.
So the fact that we weren't even doing that, to me, is worrying on one hand because you think these are top players, why aren't they even running? But also encouraging because you think this isn't a tactic they need to learn. This isn't a lack of ability. It's a lack of application, and you can just change that. That can change overnight, or in a week or two. Francis M says Onana has every right to go for the ball, same as anyone. And instead of punching, he sees he can't go get it and protects himself coming down. Not a penalty, but that's insane, isn't it? Like I've dived in right. So what's happened is he had the ball. I thought I want to get that ball, so I've dived through the air with my studs out because I didn't want him to hurt me. You think, I get it, but he still punched someone in the face.
It is weird though, isn't it? When you got keepers, when you get, let's say you get through on goal, and the player gets the shot off, and then they come together and hit each other. It's never a foul.
No,
never is.
But if it's the other way, if it's a defender and the person has a shot, and then they take him out,
and it's
legs,
a foul.
It's a foul every time.
So why is it not a foul? But the keeper does it.
Thank God it's not.
Yeah, exactly. Martian says, can't really take any tactics or lineup related conclusions from this game since every single player had a bad day. We'll surely get better as the season goes on. It will.
Yeah, no doubt.
We might have a lot of games this bad, but we're not going to have many games worse than that.
Yeah.
Like that is horrendous football.
Yeah,
so it can only get better from here or stay as bad as that. Ivan Chung said everyone just seemed to be one step slower. Seemed like they have no harmony, but slowly I do see a positive. We'll be all right the more this group play. Very good. This is nice. Bit more positivity. T says, why aren't we talking about Bruno being so bad? Bruno was very poor. Tom Hutton says Sancho looked bright. Hope he gets more time in the centre this season. Hopefully we don't need him in the centre. That would be the ideal thing, wouldn't it? We've got a tweet a comment from Ten Hag after the game. He said, I'm really pleased with the win. It was a fight to welcome us back to the season. It wasn't a great game from us, but we found a way to win. When you see performance from Wolves in pre-season, you know they're a good team, and luckily we took the points. We were lucky.
So lucky.
Alex United says Eric Ten Hag's football is like Van Gaal's, just worse offensively. It's not that boring. Fucking hell.
Wow.
At least with this football we concede chances. Under Van Gaal it was just nothing happened and then we lost. Varane said the team spirit is already good, but we want to improve. We want to be tough and hard to beat. We have to be connected on the pitch and aggressive. We did well. We can improve with the ball. More control, more calmness. Varane also was talking about Onana and said it's a good start for him. We need time to build that connection on the pitch, which is normal. He's a very good player, so he can help the team this season. But he also said it was a tough game against a very good team. There we go. A couple more super chats. Discombobulate. I'm not going to write the lads off, but my only concern is that in terms of match sharpness, we don't look there at all. SG says, sorry guys, I'll take the blame for this one. I put Rashford and Bruno in my FPL team. I'll get them out ASAP. Yeah, get them out and get as many City players as you can in there. Right, we're going to end on some positivity. I want one positive thing from you, Nathan, because, this is a place of light.
Hey, 3 points without playing well.
Do you know what I mean?
That's all that matters. We're up there. We're on the same points and goal difference as Arsenal right now. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
One positive comment.
We
have to do this like some sort of like group therapy style.
Yeah. Things can only get better.
Lovely. Or, that was rock bottom, is another way of saying that. And I'll end positively with You sort of said the only two I could think of. Right. Assuming United players ever decide to run, we'll be better than that next week. Because they just didn't even try, did they? Once they start trying, we'll be fine. Right, that's going to be all from us. Hit the like button. United have won. 3 points in the bag. Already 3 points better off than we were last season. Do you know what I mean? It's not bad, is it?
Oh, mate.
One of the worst performances I've ever seen, but we're not going to worry about that. It's Spurs at the weekend. We'll have Jay Motti here for that, and we've got loads of videos in the meantime, so make sure you stick around. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nathan, for coming down. Thank you, Scotty. Make sure you check out Duke's Football Show.
Duke's United Show.
Duke's United Show. Make sure you check out Scotty and Motti podcast as well, and we'll see you in a bit.